Like I can see around my nose right here, I make it more noticeable right here. Where I've applied it with a sponge, it's definitely more. I promised you guys that if Natasha Denona comes out with a foundation similar to the concealer, that is one of my favorites, I'm gonna buy it, and I did purchase it. This is the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Foundation Hydrating and Blurring Longwear Radiant Foundation Serum, or Serum Foundation. I picked mine up in the shade N1 because I have her 3 concealers here, and out of the 3 concealers, the N1 is the most perfect for my skin tone. So I picked this foundation up from Beautylish, and this retails for $72.50 Canadian. It's a medium buildable coverage, radiant blurring finish. It lasts up to 18 hours. Self-setting formula, short and long-term hydration. It's safe for sensitive skin. This has Korean ingredients, but it's also made in Italy. So that's kind of long story short. For a naturally radiant finish, you apply with a foundation brush from the center of the face outward. For a fuller coverage, you use your fingers or a damp sponge. Here is what the foundation looks like. It is so pretty. It's 30 milliliters, which is 1 fluid ounce. Formulated in Korea, made in Italy, and it's the Hy-Glam Foundation. Mine is in the shade 1N, and I'll compare it today to this one. This is what this one reminds me of based on packaging, which is the Laura Mercier, and this is the Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation, and this one is in the shade 1N2 Vanille. So I will compare it to that, but first I can just put all of this concealers on my hand to show you the shades I have and to see how this compares to the shades and see if it's similar to the N1 in concealer, in case that would be more helpful. Okay, so like she said, we are going to start applying it. I have a clean brush here, the Makeup Forever F4 brush. But before we do that, let me start with the concealers here so I can see the shades and how this foundation compares to this concealer. So here we have the concealers. We have P2, which is more of a peachy undertone, and this is N3, and this is N1. So I got my foundation in N1. So I want to see if it's similar to this shade, and I will let you know right away. We're going to open it right now. So the glass is frosted, the packaging is plastic, but it's like mattified. It comes with a pump, very similar to, let me see, it's the same. Yeah, very similar to the Laura Mercier from what I see. Almost exactly identical. So let me pump it out. So there is the formula right there. It's thick, it looks lightweight, it feels nice and lightweight. I love the pink undertone. Now, compare it to this one, N1 in concealer. They're quite similar, to tell you the truth. So N1 concealer, N1 foundation. What do you guys think? Actually, they are quite identical. I can see that as the foundation is drying a bit or setting, is a little bit more peachy or towards pink, but very slight difference. You can't even see it on camera. I can see, like, if I look very closely. So should we start it? So here it is again. These 2 shades I might have to give maybe to my daughter, one of them, we'll see, because they're quite too dark for me, but N1 works great as a concealer, and I've been using this as a foundation all over the face. But now that I have this one, I can't wait to try it. Okay, so I'm gonna apply this as just like a makeup artist would do. So I'm gonna put it to the back of my hand, and then with my brush, I'm gonna slowly build it up. So let's do one face with the brush, and then we'll do one face with the sponge, because she says with the brush, more lightweight, with the sponge, more coverage. So we're gonna put it to the test and see. Just shake it a bit, I guess. Doesn't hurt. Okay, so a pump and a half I did here. So I'm gonna go into, which brush? This one right here, which is the bigger part, by F4 Makeup by Mario. And I don't have anything on my face right now. I didn't put primer, I didn't put anything, just whatever I have from this morning, sunscreen and face cream, which is right now, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow, so just a little bit, look how much I've left from a pump and a half, and look how much coverage I was able to get with just a pump and a half. Here, I'll zoom you in more. Oh, okay. I do know that the concealer is like a little bit goes a long way. You get a lot of coverage with just a little bit. And I can tell right now that this is all I need for half of my face. So whatever I have left here, I'm just going to use my hand and apply it to my face. And we're going to do the sponge situation. So it's equal amount. Pretty so far, what I'm seeing. Okay, so let's see if with the sponge we get fuller coverage or not. The way I like to apply my foundations anyways is with brush and then I'll go with sponge over. So we're gonna use the sponge on the other side after we see if there's a difference. I'll zoom you in a bit. With the brush, I have a little bit more glowiness to the skin. You see a little bit more brightening and more hydration. On this one, with the sponge, it looks like the foundation got a little bit more mattified, but still in a beautiful way for my dry, mature skin. You can still see it looking beautiful. Make sure that we do around the nose. But yeah, right away with the dampened sponge, more mattifying, and with the brush, more glowy. So I don't know if I see a difference in coverage. To me, they look the same, but maybe what they mean is that if you apply it with a sponge, maybe that's what they mean by saying that it's more coverage because it mattifies the skin right away. I do prefer it more this way, to tell you the truth. But let me use a sponge now on this side where we've used the brush and then the sponge here. And then let's see if it mattifies it. Maybe the water from the sponge, I don't like it very much with the sponge, to tell you the truth. Like I can see around my nose right here, I think from the water of the sponge, and there's no water, it's just damp. It kind of make it more noticeable right here. I'm sure you guys can see it. Where with the brush, let's see if we can eliminate that now. Unfortunately, I think it's stuck there from the dampened sponge. So I think, yeah, I prefer it more with this. I don't like it more mattifying because I like more of a glowy look. Let's see, finish whatever we have left on the brush and add, but it's definitely self-setting. You can see right away that the foundation just set on the face. You can't really move it. And if you do apply over on this side, where I have applied with the sponge, when I go over, you can see because it's self-set, it looks a little bit more cakey in this area right here. Not bad, but I think the trick is to go little by little. And I think once you've applied it, maybe try not to build it up. Does it say you can build it up though? No, it doesn't say. Medium buildable coverage. It says you can build it up, but I'm scared because I think if I add more, it will be a little bit cakey. Like I like this side much better, but not around the nose because I use the sponge, and I think the dampened sponge with the setting foundation, I think that's what caused that. This side I don't like as much. Do you guys notice? It's very hard to see on camera. I like it around the nose, but maybe once it settles, we'll see at the end of the video how it all looks. I will have to obviously keep trying it out. Is it the same as the concealer? Hold on. I don't know. I can't really tell. Let me try again. I feel like, I think so. And I think that the longer it stays on the face, it will look good. I'm not going to add concealer because I don't want to be having too much product underneath my eye, but I'm just going to go with whatever's left and go underneath my eye like this, whatever I have on my brush. Oh yeah, definitely this side is so much better. It's more smoother, less noticeable that I'm wearing foundation than this one. First impressions, I'm not gonna form an opinion. I'm happy to have this. It has great ingredients. I've always said I'm gonna purchase this foundation when it comes out, so it's nothing bad. I'm loving it so far. First impression, what I'm seeing, and I'm gonna keep trying it out with different primer underneath and then more hydrating skin. So We'll do that next time, but this is the first time we're using it. So I was thinking for a bronzer and blush today, I'm going to use powder because I feel like when you apply a cream product, a cream bronzer or a cream blush, it blends beautifully. Like you're not going to lift the foundation, but I find that it's more difficult to apply powder bronzer or powder blush on a foundation. If the foundation is not very good, then you'll notice the patchiness. So I'm gonna go with my YSL bronzer. This is the All Hours Hyper Bronze, and this is in the shade 02. Use my favorite Hourglass dual-ended brush, and let's see how the foundation works underneath this bronzer, because I know that this bronzer is such a good bronzer and it should work. And I think because this foundation is self-setting, basically it just dries on your skin in a nice way. I think it makes the powder bronzer actually apply much better than another foundation. That's what I've noticed. Because if I were to have more of a glossy, more slippery foundation, more hydrating underneath, when you apply this powder products, they definitely, if you don't have like a powder underneath them, they definitely become a little bit more patchy because it just catches onto the wet parts of your cheek. Wow, I forgot how much I love this bronzer. I think I love this one more than my Victoria Beckham. I love my Victoria Beckham as well, and I've been using that a lot because it's on my vanity desk. But now getting into this bronzer, I missed it. Oh, it looks so much better now with the eyes. The eyes kind of looked crazy before when I didn't have my face done. Yeah, so far I'm still loving this part here with the brush more. Oh, that's very interesting. My foundation usually look great when I apply them with the sponge. However, like I said, make sure I should have added a moisturizer or something, but I wanted to see how this foundation works after 5 hours have gone by after I've applied my sunscreen and face cream. So far what I'm seeing, it looks okay, right? So let's go into the YSL. Oh, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to pick up two YSL products. This is the YSL Make Me Blush powder blush in the shade 42, which is this nice pink one. So I'm gonna go with this side of the Hourglass. Wow, that's quite pigmented. I wanted something pink today on my cheek because I'm gonna use a nice, like this gloss that I have, and I think it's gonna go really nice with. Wow, I really pinked up my cheeks. So pretty. It looks really nice on both sides. You can automatically see this is more glowy right here on the cheek, even after applying the powder blush, than this cheek. Wow, it's so pretty. I'm loving it. It's not a bad foundation. I can tell you right away it's not. But I wanted to show you the best way that it looks on me, on my skin, with a sponge and a brush. Let's add some mascara, the Tartelette mascara in the shade brown. That's what I have on my top lashes, and I didn't want to add anything on the bottom because I wanted to be able to apply the foundation. But I'm just going to add a little bit like this. Now we're going to go into lips quickly. Tower 28 Fill Me In Multi Lip Liner. Then we're going to add more of a lip gloss on top. So I kind of filled in the lips with this one. Look at this pretty pink. Matches like this pink. So this is the Huda Beauty, let me see exactly the name of it. Juicy Go Lip Oil. Juicy Go Lip Oil. Is that the shade? Juicy Go maybe is the shade? I don't know. I'll put it down below. But it's basically this see-through. It's not pink, so don't be scared of the bottle. But it's such a lightweight lip oil and so hydrating, so beautiful. I love the complexion. Let me zoom you really close up and so you guys can see every part of my skin. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so where I've applied it with the brush, I can tell right away it's a little bit more glowy, more hydrating. However, you can see that you can still see the size of the pores. Where I've applied it with a sponge, it's definitely more mattified. So I think that's why they're saying that it provides more coverage with a sponge, because it looks more mattifying and you don't see the pores much on this side. But let me see if it looks drying. So since the beginning, I have to add a little bit more. blush. Okay, so since the beginning of the video, I can tell that even though this side is more mattifying, which I'm really scared when you have dry skin, mature skin, and you get more mattifying foundations, I was scared it's gonna look cakey, but it has actually settled beautifully on the cheek. This problem we can ignore on behind the nose. This is where first I've applied it with the brush, then I went with a dampened sponge. So maybe after it's set and you go with a dampened sponge, caused that. So that's something to kind of play and learn about the foundation. I am loving what I'm seeing. I'm actually loving the mattified side as well. So it depends on you what you prefer. It gives you the impression that you've already applied powder. That's what it looks like. But in a good way, it's not noticeable. It's just very blurring and very HD like. So I think it looks really pretty. And then here it is from afar. I think it just looks as beautiful as it looks from up close. Really loving it, actually. I love the packaging because it's very similar to this one. They're both 30 milliliters. So, and I do love my Laura Mercier. This one, from what I can tell, it's a combo between the Laura Mercier foundation because it's so lightweight, and the Natasha Denona N1 concealer because of the coverage that provides. It definitely provides. This one provides more coverage than this one. I guess if you use this combo, you can probably create the Natasha Denona new foundation, the Hy-Glam foundation. Yep, sponge and brush. I love it. I'm loving it. I will continue using it. So we'll see how it continues wearing on me. I'm not going to do a wear test. I'm sure you've guys seen it on YouTube already. Every foundation will eventually... I find this wear... I used to do this wear test, but I find this wear tests kind of... like, I'm not saying that it's not okay. You can do a wear test, whatever. But temperature, what you do during the day, what you wear underneath the foundation during the day, they all play a role on how your foundation will last throughout the day. Like, I can say that this foundation lasted all 18 hours on my face. If all I do is just sit here and edit videos and do nothing else, not eat, not go for a walk, not run, not cook, not anything. However, if I do any other things, it can make the foundation last a little bit less than 18 hours. And then what? Something's wrong with the foundation? No, absolutely not. So I think that it all depends on what you do, how you spend your day, how you touch your face and everything. So, you know, I kind of try not to do wear tests anymore because for that reason. So I can let you know maybe in the comments down below how this foundation wears by the end of the night. Kind of just doing almost nothing throughout the day. Maybe some sewing and crocheting. That's what I'll do. But other than that, I love it. And every foundation will eventually wear at the end of the night and looks a little bit more separated. You know, I don't think I came across a foundation that's... You can see the difference. It's not bad. All the foundations that I have by the end of the night, they don't look bad. But you can notice the difference between when I first apply it and then before I go to sleep, right? Because of what I do during the day. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope it was helpful. Is it the same as N1? I think so. I think it's the same. If you have the concealer, I would say that the foundation shade will match the concealer shade. And that's me talking based on N1 concealer and N1 foundation. So I was afraid that this would be either too light and this too dark, but they're very similar. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.